How are we doing, diggers? Welcome to the shop, welcome to the YouTube channel. And again, as I always say, thank you so much to everyone out there liking, subscribing, commenting on our posts, because it really helps. And the main thing about it is building a community around vinyl collecting, well, music collecting in general. So it's absolutely lovely to see so much of that. So thank you guys. So in this week's video, we are going to cut straight to the chase and we're going to look at two things that we've done relatively recently in order to diversify our business a little bit and to keep current and to extend what we can offer to collectors. So number one, last year we opened up a smaller shop. So we've actually got two shops. We've got our main shop here, which is in Burbage, which I'm sure you've seen. We'll just do a quick spin round. Nice and big, loads of room for loads of records, although we have crammed it full with a few too many at the moment. And that was the main reason why we opened up a second shop in Hinckley Town Centre. Now, if you've ever been around here, we're in Burbage, main shop, and Hinckley is about 10 minutes, if you get good traffic, just the nearest town away. More of a town centre, more shops, more coffee shops, more things to do. And yeah, we just wanted a presence in the town centre, and we had that opportunity with loads and loads of records to do that. We'll go over there and I'll talk more about that shop in a minute. So we'll head over. The other thing that is really exciting and new is our website. We launched this week, so it's literally just gone live. And as somebody who's come from selling online, so first, when I started this 10 years odd ago, well, I've been collecting since I was, 12. But the buying and selling part came about 10 years ago. So I was really buying and selling small bits to sort of fund my collection or to change my collection, move bits around. Slowly moved into buying collections, and then here we are now with a business, a shop that buys and sells records. The first half of that, sort of like 5 years, was selling online. So using eBay and Discogs and our social media platforms to sell online. And pros and cons to selling online then, as I'm sure you may well be aware if you've done that. The biggest pro, well, the two biggest pros are you are selling all day long. So at 3 in the morning, you could have a £100 sale and it feels like you've done nothing for it. So that's really nice. You are always open. You've got a 24-hour shop in effect, and that's great. That's really, really good to keep a revenue coming in as a business in these tricky times. That's one great thing. The next great thing is worldwide reach. So let's take a record. 2 seconds, I'll grab a quick record. Here we go then, 2 records. So here we have 1971, ridiculously obscure and rare space free jazz. All right, now it's got a hefty price tag on it as well, 250 quid. It's in excellent, probably near mint condition, really lovely. The chances of somebody walking in and wanting a copy of this in the shop is incredibly, incredibly slim. Someone might see it and look at it and fancy it, but at that hefty price tag, it's an investment that you've got to know. You've got to know what you're getting involved in. So it's very unlikely that someone's just going to walk in and go, oh, I'll give it a shot at 250 quid. Therefore, online is phenomenal for something like this, because you've got a worldwide audience. You've got a worldwide audience, and the few people out there, obviously at this price tag, and it has sold a fair few times online, and that is a relatively decent price for it, it will sell online because you are opening up to the whole world, and it's going to find its collector. Another one here. This one has been doing my head in. It's been in the shop for ages. So it's the Dua Lipa, but it's the 3 LP complete edition. And it's got tracks on here that you can't find anywhere else. So it's only available on this media. Hence, again, the hefty price tag. Again, 250 quid. That's a coincidence. People come in the shop, they flick through and they find this record and go, 250 quid for Dua Lipa? Are you mad? Wait, hold on. Over there, we have represses of this album, probably at $22.99. All right. And then I have to explain that this is a really rare copy. And in the modern pop, there aren't many. There are some huge rarities, don't get me wrong, but there aren't many. So to have one of these, again, incredibly niche for somebody to walk in and want this exact edition. Again, putting it online, I'm hoping that this will find its buyer relatively quickly. So those are the two things that are really important about online selling. 24-hour shop and worldwide audience. On to the cons that I found, the not so good bits that I found when I was selling for, I don't know, 5-6 odd years. And we were selling loads. We were selling, well, I think loads, operating from my dining room, selling around 100 and 120 records a week, which felt an awful lot every time you went to the post office. So one thing, it only takes a couple of records for someone to say that they've gone missing in the post, to say that they're not the condition that you described them, or they send pictures of a record that definitely doesn't look like the record that you sent, saying that it's scratched or beat up or whatever, or broken in the post. And sometimes that's genuine, obviously, sometimes it's not so genuine. And it only takes a couple of those and you've lost all your profit and that's it. You're back to square one. That's the hard bit. Second bit is, you know, if somebody walks into the shop, picks up a record and buys it, it's a really easy transaction. If somebody buys that record online, I've got to go into the computer, I've got to grab their address, I've got to go to Royal Mail, I've got to put in the input that, I've got to package it, I've got to check it before it leaves, I've then got to take it to the post office. All of that is extra stuff, and when you've got a shop, it's extra stuff that you may not need to do because you've got a shop. That's the whole point of having a shop. So the other thing is, the reason for having a shop, for me personally, is I love that face-to-face interaction. I love to see on somebody's face when they find a grail or they find a record they've been looking for, yeah, wicked, found it. Buy it, take it home, and building that community around the shop, having regular customers that are coming in weekly, almost like clockwork. And I've made great friends through this shop and great acquaintances, and I love that day-to-day thing of interacting with people. So if you don't, then online is brilliant. I get that. And also, this is not a diss in any way to online sellers at all. I know loads of excellent online sellers, really reputable, who have built up amazing community through their selling online and the service that they give. So I'm definitely not against it. There's just differences between having a shop and online. So back to what we're doing today. Obviously, the website's all up and running. I cannot take a single bit of credit for that. I am useless at computers. So that is another negative for going online because I just don't know how they work or anything. I'm purely analog. So Guy, who has been working with us since about Christmas, has taken the reins on that. He's amazing. And if you've come in the shop and met Guy, you'll know his music knowledge is superb. He's an absolutely lovely bloke. But he also has skills in the interweb computer side of things. So yeah, he's been doing that. It looks wicked. I'll do a little bit of a screenshot here of what it looks like. I'm so proud of it. It looks amazing. So thank you, Guy. It really does look really professional and like a real website for a real shop, which I'm well chuffed with it. And it's been doing its job so far really well as well, So back to the job in hand. We are clearing out the kitchen / dumping area and creating a sort of little office packing place for the online orders and storage for online things that we're selling. And yeah, I'll take you over to our mini shop and we'll have a little look there and a little browse, and I'll talk you through what goes on there. What to do first? Let's go on a little road trip. Let's go over to the mini shop and have a little look there, shall we? So here we are in the lovely town of Hinckley in Leicestershire. I absolutely adore living here. Perfect sized town. I moved out from Leicester about 15 years ago. I love the size of the town. It's a really friendly place to live. The Borough Council do absolutely loads of little events, loads of things in the Mead, which is the park. So our location, top of the main high street, Castle Street, and it's down one of these little jitties, alleyways, in this lovely building called Fodder and Chiswick, which is a craft beer and a sort of delicatessen. And here's the craft beer room. Absolutely great, a range of craft beers, wines and things like that. And on a lovely day like today, there is nothing better than grabbing one of these out of the fridge, pouring it into a posh glass and going for a browse through a load of records. Surely that is absolute peak perfection. And there's some really nice independent breweries from Leicestershire and around the local area. Now, these guys are famed for their pork pies, absolutely amazing. They're really delicious, all topped in different ways. They've got a cheese board which is really renowned as well. People travel from all over the country for some of these cheeses. If you're a cheese nut, these are absolutely superb. And then onto the actual record shop, which is within Fodder and Chiswick. It's the back room here. And yeah, really proud to be in here and really enjoy the space. It's just about the perfect size for our sort of overflow shop. And it can be a bit tricky deciding what goes into this shop. The cut-off really is around £30–35. Anything else is kind of over at our main shop. All rarities are over at our main shop because I want to be there to sort of guide you through those and talk through them, maybe offer a little bit of a wriggle room on them. We've got some nice singles in as well, but again, most of it is the cheaper end of stuff. You know, we really concentrate on £5 records, £10 records, not too much over the £20 mark, to be honest. New and sealed, really easy. We just buy those from our distributor. So these are well stocked with as many titles as we can. We stock up probably about once a week if we can. Obviously, it depends what secondhand stuff we've got coming in as well. And then pop down for every week to just give it a good old tidy up. As there isn't a member of staff here all the time, it means that stuff can get put in the wrong places and people just dump stuff in the bins and stuff. So it's good to come back here, make sure everything's back in its right place. So we've got a new in section here, and this is last week's new in. So today I'm just going to put all of that in the alphabeticalized genre sections. And as you can see from the sort of stuff, it's your sort of low end. Nothing wrong with that though. Some really top albums in here, but sort of steady fodder for your collection. Stuff that is more well known, I would say. But yeah, some great bits. Bowie, Queen, bit of Quo going in there, bit of Who. Oh, I'm having to flick backwards here. A new technique I've never used before. But yeah, like these will all go into the new in section. And as is always the way, this is used as an overstock of our main shop. But even then, it doesn't stop us getting many duplicates of records. And at these prices, I can't believe they're not absolutely flying out. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Let's hotfoot it back over to the main shop to sort out the internet station that we're doing. So here we are in the bowels of the record shop in our storage unit, and this is what we're doing today, is basically getting rid of this Kallax unit, changing it so it's a bit more of a workable office space for posting out our online sales. So I'm going through, this used to be our like A to Z storage area. All it turned into was duplicate shop copies of albums that actually came in all the time and went out. But the ones sat here just ended up being sat here. So we're just getting rid. My interesting job for today is the Kallax unit also had one whole bit where it was stuff I'm keeping for some reason. It might be because the sleeve is broken, but the disc is good, or vice versa, or interesting stuff. So I'm keeping this. This was in a collection of records that I bought probably a year and a half ago, of a chap that had sadly died. And he created his own album artwork and record label for an imaginary band. I don't think he ever recorded any music, not got any actual music in there, but he created his own artwork for his own band, the Henry Cronk Band, and I just think that is so cool. And I keep coming across like 7-inch singles that he created. Again, not recorded, just the artwork. So I'm definitely keeping anything like that. These two mean a lot to me. These were the last two records that came out of Gordon Hayes' shop, Nervous Records in Hinckley. These were in the window, the last records in the window, and the guys who were renovating the shop, sadly, when Gordon passed away, the shop was sold and was being changed back into houses, and they asked me to come and have a look at some records they found out the back, and I asked if I could take these. These were the last records in the window, so very, very cool. I will frame those at some point. This one, disc is broken, but the $1 billion in there. Some inner sleeve, D'Agostoni bits, a rude sleeve. This guy, just because he has the most comical name of all time, that's being kept. Another comedy record. And then stuff here is, oh yeah, I have started to match up. So that is a first press sleeve, but the disc is ruined. There's a couple of like Guns N' Roses, nice Beard of Stars there, but again, sleeve only. Space Oddity with all the bits in. 2 Guns N' Roses lies, both discs absolutely wrecked. So just waiting for another disc to come in. This REM, absolutely mint condition disc, but no outer sleeve. So that will stay there until we get one. Again, I think one of the discs on that is missing. Disc is wrecked on that and that. Again, first press Abbey Road, but yeah, the disc is not in very good condition. So those will stay, but everything else is going, and we're going to get rid of this Kallax and put the new ones up tomorrow. So here's just one of the units from the Kallax unit, and there's some interesting enough stuff in here. I don't know what it was doing sat out there. We've not actually had a copy of this in the shop for a while, and someone was asking for it, and we've had a copy out the back the whole time. Delphonics, that's a great album, that is. But again, it's just been sat out the back for some reason. And we found a couple of rarities as well. Okay, so obscurities, rarities. This is like a bit of an acid folky kind of thing. So yeah, nice to find something that's odd and a bit rare. Loads and loads and loads for our pound bin. So this is pound bin and £3 bin. I can see answer on a postcard what that is. I'll tell you, it's Paul Young, my favourite. So all my Paul Youngs are in there. If you don't know the joke, I once collected over 60 copies of Paul Young No Parlay as a joke because it comes in the shop all of the time. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of, and I've covered the whole walls with Paul Young. So yeah, there we go. So more stuff there. So we have been pricing loads of stock to go out. So here we go, a bit of a skip forward to what the kitchen area looks like now, and then we've got this lovely empty workstation, which I'm sure will be very messy very soon for all our packing. So shall we pack an internet order now? I know that'll be interesting, won't it? Here we go, welcome to POV mode. So down here, we've got our boxes. So we grab our record. Really important to take the inners out because we don't want them banging around. And with something like this, what I'm going to do is get 3 records. PJ Proby and Cliff Richard. Now this is a bit overkill, but I know as someone who orders online, I don't even want my original inners damaged in transit. Oh, and it's a nice clear vinyl. So I'm going to stick those in the inners from the 3 records, just like this. So that comes out, that comes out. And then put these on. And what that does is it does send you on a bit of a wild goose chase to find the records that you've bought. And we do sometimes, occasionally get someone messaging saying, "Oi, you've sent me a load of old rubbish. Where are my records?" And you've just got to go on a bit of a chase for them. But it does mean that they are packed to absolute perfection. Now, when and if we get to much bigger quantities, probably won't be able to do that. You can't do it on new records, but it's just a nice touch, I would say. That goes back into the inner. And then you get a nice sticker. business card with all our links on. And then also a little vinyl shakedown pin badge. And then we'll put this all together now. So we're going to go AC/DC in the middle of those. You still get your free records. And that is packed perfectly. I will just slot the badge in there. Okay. Oh, sorry. So put those in there, put those in there. Weight wise, that won't cost us any more, so it's perfect. Stick that around there. That's it. Get our fragile tape. We are using eco-friendly fragile tape, so your packaging is fully recyclable. Costs a tiny touch more, but I think again, nice little touch. So there we go. I do have a gun for that, but it's at home. There we go, ready to go. And then we'll come over here. Now, I'm not going to do that part because otherwise you see the person's address. But Royal Mail is linked up to this, and then we print off the label. Really easy. Stick it there. Off it goes. Job done. So there we go, guys. A little look into what we've been up to recently. I hope you enjoyed the look of the little shop. It does look lovely in the sunshine, and we're hitting 36, 38 degrees this week. So I think that might be the spot to go for a beer and a browse, to be honest. So yeah, and internet-wise, we'll see how things go. Obviously, driving traffic to the website is probably the biggest thing. We had an initial flurry when we launched it, which was great. And then obviously, you know, people randomly finding our website amongst all the big players is going to be a minute chance, really. But it's a slow burner. We'll see how it goes. It might lead us, now we're set up for that kind of thing a little bit more, to going down the eBay route again, Discogs route again. But right now, I do sit on the side of keeping stuff in the shop. Keeping as much in the shop as possible, so when you come, there's hours and hours worth of digging and fun to be had, and you think, oh, I didn't quite complete the shop, I'll have to come back. That's the whole point of having a shop, I suppose. But then again, there are some stuff, when I look around, when I find something with an old price sticker, we changed our price guns about 2 years ago. If I find something with an old price sticker, that's kind of been in the shop too long, I'd say. So it might be that we put stuff over there on Discogs and eBay, but then you just end up with loads of random weird stuff on Discogs and eBay. And if I find something on Discogs and then I think, oh, look what else the seller's got to make up the posters. If it's just all the dregs of a shop or the really odd stuff that they can't sell in the shop, I don't know, it depends. If you're into that sort of stuff, brilliant. But yeah. So it's a hard one. We'll see how it goes. Plenty of options. That's the fun, exciting part of business, and being like in charge, really. Oh, me in charge, ridiculous. But yeah, we can do what we want as we go, and we can make changes, and we can adapt things, and we can, you know, try things out. If they don't work, we'll go back, and yeah, loads of things that we can do. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll try and get another video up in the next week. Thank you guys. Have a good one. See you soon. Bye.